Area 210, where the dreams don't fade. From the river walk nights to the Alamo shade, we rise together through the highs and the lows. Area 210, oh, it's the life that we chose.
We're rising together on a Victory Tuesday, Spurs fans. This is the Area 210 podcast powered by P.F. Chang's La Cantera and Hard Rock Cafe San Antonio. My name is Mike Jimenez. That's Joe Garcia. We talk sports and pop culture over here. We talk a lot of Spurs, man, because the Spurs are the hottest team in the NBA, winners of 25 of 27 last night, taking care of the Chicago Bulls, 129-114 at the Frostbank Center. Spurs are now back on the road. Spurs 57-18 on the season. Still 2.5 games behind the Oklahoma City Thunder, who last night beat the Pistons in overtime. The free throw merchant was at it again. 47 points for SGA, 21 of 25 from the free throw line, 25 free throw attempts by SGA yesterday. Wemby scored 41 on only 4 free throw attempts. Who had the better game? And you might say, well, who did they play? They played the Bulls. The Bulls suck. They're going to be in the lottery. Well, who did Oklahoma City play last night? Because they went into overtime last night. They were down 6 with 5 minutes to go in the game. Joe, the Pistons were without Cade Cunningham and 3 other starters. 4 starters out. So this whole idea that, SGA locked down the MVP award kind of throws me off. Joe, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing good, man. Had to wake up super early this morning, man. I had to take my niece to school. She texted me last night and she's like, hey, can you take me to school? It's because she's going on some camping trip they have at school for the next couple of days. So she has like luggage that she needs to take and she doesn't want to get on the bus with it. So I'm like, fine, I'll go pick you up.
Yep.
This girl packed like for a whole month. I'm like, you do not need all that. And she's like, well, just in case, uncle. And she's like, she wanted me to pick her up too because she wants Dutch Bros. She's like, I'm not missing Dutch Bros.
Dude,
I'm
kids
like,
drinking
God.
coffee is a little bit weird, man. Get them hot chocolate and be done with it. Don't get them coffee.
She doesn't really get coffee like that. She gets other stuff from Dutch Bros.
Dutch Bros is,
drinks.
You know what? Dutch Bros does not deliver by Uber Eats in my neck of the woods, so I have to go over there and take it to Chica at her work, man. But no Chica here today, so I can kind of be a little bit more relaxed.
You won't be distracted?
I do get distracted. It's not that I say anything different when she's gone. It's just I get distracted sometimes, man. She's cooking, looking good. I get distracted. But we're talking Spurs and pop culture today. Speaking of pop culture, today is the 31-year anniversary of Selena Quintanilla's murder, which happened back in Corpus Christi at the hands of Yolanda Saldivar. We'll get into that. There was a Powerball winner, Joe, that won like over $100 million and has been arrested 3 times since then. That was last year. The most recent arrests for stealing money.
Yeah.
We'll get into that. Saw a good article the other day about smoking patterns in the United States. For the first time ever, fewer than 10% of Americans smoke cigarettes, American adults. And it used to be over 40% back in the day and has steadily declined. Are we seeing the death of the cigarette industry? Because I remember back in the day, Joe, we'd go to clubs, we'd go to bars and come out smelling like smoke. Those days are over.
Joe's Volcano, man. Remember that? You'd go in back in the day, come out smelling like cigarettes, man.
That's basically it, man. Go Grand Central Station, coming out smelling like you're out of a tobacco factory. But we'll get into that. And then Jaden Ivy went off the deep end, lost his job yesterday. Jaden Ivy, who was the number 5 pick in the draft a few years ago, is now out of a job after going on a rant. Some say political, some say religious, some say homophobic, some say whatever. But he went off on a lot of different people. I really don't want to play his words, man. He seemed to be a little bit zonked out of his mind, man. He looked like Tiger Woods looked after the most recent accident.
Oh, man. They're probably on some medication, man. Something.
Yeah. So let's get into the Spurs last night. Again, they beat the Bulls 129-114. Wemby going off for 41 points. I know the Bulls are not a very good team. There's certain players on that team I do like. Matas Buzelis, for some reason, just gets my blood flowing a little well. I like him a lot, dude. Yeah. He gets me going. But Trey Jones going out there had himself a good game. Did Trey Jones deserve a video tribute after playing, 4 seasons with the Spurs? Are we getting a little bit overboard with this tribute? And he seemed to be very happy with it. And afterwards, Keldon Johnson at the end of the game said that he wanted to do the jersey exchange with Trey Jones, but Trey Jones instead exchanged with Julian Champagny instead. Are we okay with the whole video tribute to these guys who were not stars with the team, who were not with the team very, very, very long? Number 10 had one. Boban had one. I mean, are we going a little bit overboard with this? Or are we just too nice of a franchise?
I think they're just too nice, man. I'm like, the guy was playing with you for a couple of years, wasn't really a superstar, didn't help you get to the playoffs, didn't help you like get a chip. Why are we having tribute videos, man?
I don't get it.
Hey, we appreciate you. They could do that. The fans could do that when he gets announced and he comes out on the court. You give him a standing ovation and a clap. Mira.
I mean, I guess. I mean, Trey Jones was a nice guy. He was a good part of the community and
Yeah.
whatnot. But again, he did not make the playoffs as a Spur. It's not like they were winning games when he was out there playing. So no, I'm not a big supporter of that. But last night I was a big supporter of Wemby going off for 41 points, 16 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 blocks. Looking generational, if I can say so myself.
Look at
Spurs go off to win 129 to 114. But Wemby going off last night, stating the case for MVP, and then at the same time, in another gym up I-35 in Oklahoma City, you have SGA going off for 47 points, but it took 25 free throws to get to it. SGA yesterday had more free throw attempts than I think I saw the stat than Wemby and Jokic in the last 5 games combined.
Yeah, but he's the MVP, right? The front runner.
Yeah,
And when
the free
asked
throw
about
margin.
it, what did
Yeah,
he say?
Yeah, he said, "Nah, I'm good." Wearing shades, "Nah, I'm good.
The
I let
fake
my game
first?
do the talking." What game are you talking about? You're just going to the free throw line repeatedly, and he almost had the game winner at the end of regulation, but his three-pointer shot to win the game was called off because of a push-off. They called it for an offensive foul. Detroit had a chance to win the game, missed a three-point bucket to win the game at the buzzer, goes into overtime. SGA scores 8 points in overtime to lead Oklahoma City to the win. But it's what does Wemby call it? Unethical basketball. We play ethical basketball, which means
No.
that they play unethical basketball. This is the type of play that I see as an official in the high school and middle school ranks at games all the time. And I have to go tell the other officials, you do realize they're flopping, right? It has gotten to be so bad in the high school and middle school ranks, Joe, that they now call technical fouls for flopping. That there's no warning. There's no warning. And you see these players go off and they pretend like they're getting hit in the head and they jerk their neck back. And they do that because SGA does that, because Luka Doncic does that. But guess who doesn't do that, Joe? Wemby doesn't do that. Nikola
You know what
Jokic
the
does not
Wemby
do
also
that.
is doing? He's doing
LeBron
this.
does.
Yeah.
LeBron, Doncic, and Cade Cunningham all do it. But what does Wemby do? Wemby and Jokic are the two most beaten up players in all of the NBA.
Mira
And
Wemby.
that's point number 41, courtesy of FanDuel last night. I find this to be fascinating, this MVP watch going on, because you see the Monica McNutts of the world on ESPN and the Brian Windhorst of the world on ESPN saying that it should be a shut case, that, hey, SGA is the best player on the best team. He's the MVP of the number 1 team in the league. And I know the Spurs might not catch them, but at the end of the day, it's a regular season award. It's an individual award, not a team award. And I look at this and I think to myself, what game would you rather watch? Would you rather watch Wemby go off for 41 points and 16 rebounds, 4 assists and 3 blocks, by the way, getting a double-double in 8 minutes, the fastest player ever to get to a double-double? Or would you rather watch SGA go off for 47 points using an overtime game, playing basically 40-plus minutes, and having to go to the free throw line 25 times, more than the opposing team combined? He had more free throw attempts than the Detroit Pistons had the entire game. And if you go the past 2 games, SGA has more free throw attempts than the Pistons and the Knicks, who they played the last 2 games combined. That's not basketball, Joe.
Look at what Wemby did yesterday. He went off on the Bulls. Yeah. Quickest to a double-double within 8 minutes or so, a little over 8 minutes. Looking good. I mean, this is what he should be doing against a bad team, right? Wemby's a really good player, arguably the best player in the NBA. He's making a strong case for himself to become MVP, because Shai, what does he do at the other end? I mean, he had his points, but as you said, he did something that's not very impressive amongst his peers, which is becoming the free throw merchant, going to the line 25 times, which is ridiculous. And then you look at somebody like Wemby who's out there and he's like, Wemby's actually the one that should say, I'm going to let my game do the talking. Shai ain't done nothing, or Shay, whatever you want to call him.
Yeah.
He's just dumb, dude.
So Wemby's points per game have increased to 24.5, Joe.
Yeah.
But the thing is that people are making notice of the fact that Wemby doesn't play a lot of minutes because earlier in the year when he got hurt, he came back and he was load managed, right? He was playing 22 to 24 minutes per game. And it didn't matter if the Spurs were in the game or out of the game, they would take his ass out because he played just to the 24-minute marker. In totality for the season, last year he averaged 33 minutes played per game. Right now he's at 29.5, and that number keeps getting higher and higher and higher. And you see a lot of these pundits coming out and saying, well, the argument against Wemby is two things. One is that they have Spurs are 2 games behind Oklahoma City, even though the Spurs beat Oklahoma City 4-1 this year in the regular season. They're like, well, overall record, we're 2 games less, right? But then again, they're coming out after Wemby saying, well, if you look at the stats, he doesn't average 30 points per game. Well, he doesn't average 30 points per game because he's not asked to, and also he doesn't play the minutes to. And is that going to be a hindrance to him? Because Wemby averages 29.5 minutes per game. 29.5. Last year was 33. 29.5. I looked back in time, Joe. There's never been an MVP that averaged less than 30.
Yeah. You know what I was thinking about too the other day? I started really thinking about it. And everybody looks at what you do during the regular season, right? As far as how many points you scored, like Bam Adebayo broke an NBA historic record with 83 points. Everybody's like, oh, look at Bam. I'm like, okay. But you know what Wemby could do if he really wanted to? In the postseason, he could be that guy that scores the most points in a postseason game ever, if he wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
And he could make history that way and at the biggest time and on the biggest stage.
Well, one of the things that I got concerned about yesterday was the fact that I kind of felt, the Spurs got up big by halftime, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they coasted their way to a 15-point victory. But the first quarter, I was a little bit concerned that it was too much Wemby being played. Almost like the whole Bam Adebayo thing where he had 83 points. I looked at the Spurs offense yesterday and I didn't like it. The first 6 to 8 minutes of the game, I did not like what I saw. And I know the Bulls were kind of close to first, so even had the lead early in the game.
The first quarter was kind of close.
Right. And why was it close? It was because Wemby was ball hogging. And the offense was going towards Wemby way too often. Yeah. I kind of get the feeling that for a while there, at some stretches of the game, the Spurs are trying to get him stats, to pad his stats. He's not padding his stats on the free throw line. He's padding his stats on the court. Yeah. But I kind of get the feeling the Spurs are making that move to, hey, we need to get Wemby's numbers up to get the MVP. Because how do you counteract a 47-point performance by SGA? By 41 and 16, 4 and 3.
Yeah. I know we said that Wemby was the fastest to a double-double, but you can see by the NBA standards here, he got the double-double in 825 minutes of play, of game action. He was the third fastest. The only 2 fastest was Jonas Valanciunas and Boban. Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's a great game. It's the fastest ever in Spurs history. And he also rises through the ranks for the most 40-point games in Spurs history. George Gervin by far has that record. Yeah. And then you have other players like David Robinson and Mike Mitchell, who are also above that as well. I do have on my
similar to the and the audio.
Yeah, so this is courtesy of FanDuel. This is Wemby making his way in there for that 41st point. And he's playing phenomenally, man. And it was big for them to get to 41. Believe it or not, I truly believe the Spurs are forcing the ball into him to get those high numbers, Joe. The offense does not look the same.
Yeah.
The offense does not look the same at all the last couple of games. And maybe that's just me being paranoid as a Spurs fan, but I think they're forcing the issue when it comes to him offensively, when normally it's what? Let's get De'Aaron Fox involved. Let's get Keldon involved. Let's get Harper and Castle involved. I just think there's a little bit there. And by the way, Luke Cornett, who my wife calls Bedhead, what's up with him? Is he hurt?
He
Because
ain't
Luke
hurt.
Cornett has not been playing well lately. He's the one player right now. Harrison Barnes, by the way, had just 3 points last night. That whole thing about how we have 8 players that average more than 10 points. Well, because he went down to 3 points yesterday, he's now at 10.0 for the year. So he might fall off and go into single digits when it's all said and done. But the Spurs played overall well. I mean, they were playing a bad team yesterday. Matas Buzelis had a 3-pointer early in the game
was
that
the dunk
disappeared
of
for 3 quarters.
This
The
was
block.
the block of the game.
I didn't realize you could hold on to the rim while blocking, by the way. I didn't know that was a thing.
Only if you're Wemby.
Only if you're Wemby.
Look at how he comes across the court to block
Yeah.
that. It's like he's not as fast as maybe some of the smaller defenders, in front of him, but he makes it up with his length.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's just so long, Mike. Like he takes one step and he can cover so much ground.
And he glides, and how he avoids the rim when they're trying to use the rim and the backboard as a safety net, from the defender, is remarkable. You can't say that enough. Our good friend Sean Elliott, who, by the way, last night, oh my God, the early part of the third quarter. If you're watching the game on FanDuel, Sean Elliott pretending like he had never had Whataburger in his entire life.
Oh, I saw that, dude. Come on.
It was bad, dude. I am tired of Jacob Toby and Sean Elliott eating food to start the third quarter. It's annoying. And my wife, as they're watching the game with me, going, why are they eating? Don't they have a job to do? I'm like, I know. And they're sitting there, and they have the guy coming up going, hey, do you want some extra ketchup? And what kind of ketchup do you want? He goes, I'll take the spicy, whatever. It's so tacky.
Say it, Mike. It's ghetto.
It's ghetto. Now, I understand if it's La Gloria's food over there, or if it's Burger Teca or whatever, but let's not get all hot and bothered over a freaking number 4 from Whataburger. Okay? I mean, Sean Elliott, you've had the patty melt before, dude. I'm sure you've had it before. Let's not pretend like you've never had it before. And Jacob Toby acting like it's the greatest food of all time. I know it's an advertisement for one of the restaurants inside the Frostbank Center. But I am done with this, Joe. It's so tacky. It's so bad. And they miss plays. They miss plays, because the cameraman is focusing on a freaking patty melt instead of, I don't know, Wemby.
God.
So stupid, man.
Mike, you just jealous, bro. You just jealous because they didn't give you a Whataburger chain, bro. Come on.
That was actually pretty nice, though, man. I like the Whataburger chain.
Would you wear that out in public with Chica?
I would. If it had a Spurs logo attached with it, I would be fine with that. Speaking of Sean Elliott, if you go to my Twitter account, he was on the Sirius Satellite Radio the other day. I believe it was yesterday, talking about Wemby and Wemby's chances of becoming MVP. They used to say it was a 5-horse race, but really it's down to 2. It is Wemby or SGA. I'm sure Luka Doncic will get some votes. I'm sure Jaylen Brown will get some votes. But to see what Sean Elliott had to say as to why he believes Wemby is the MVP, this is what he had to say on Sirius Satellite Radio.
You can't look at his numbers offensively and say, well, it's 24 a game compared to 28 or 30 a game. That's not what his game is about offensively. When you watch him play, when you watch him make cuts and set screens, and the gravitational pull that he has on the court, it makes the game easier for everybody around him. And my definition always as an MVP was a guy who made the game easier and elevated his teammates. He does that on both sides of the floor. No other player in this league does that.
Sean Elliott stated the case for Victor Wembanyama on Sirius Satellite Radio, saying, "Hey, look, man, there's certain things that don't show up on the stat sheet. We talk about things like players who drive in and then drive back out, shots altered, things like that. But he said something, Joe, gravitational pull, and he says that it happens on the offensive side and the defensive side. The gravitational pull, which either means you avoid him defensively sometimes, or offensively, he's being guarded by multiple people in a way that leaves other players open." No. Joe, do you believe in that term gravitational pull when it comes to Wemby?
I do, because I was saying the same thing. When you have 2 or 3 defenders on Wemby, that means that somebody's open, right? And it's up to Wemby at this point to go ahead and recognize it and get the ball out to the open man or to one of his teammates, right? Because sometimes, what did I say? The best play isn't always the flashiest play. It's a simple pass to the open man, or to a teammate that can get the open pass to the open man to make the right shot, right? And that's what we're starting to see a little bit more of with the San Antonio Spurs when you have these situations with Wemby sucking in two or three defenders, somebody's open, and what do we've seen the resurgence of what? The beautiful game. They're passing the ball around the horn because sometimes that is the best move to make because you can't try to force the issue. And I think that's one thing that we can say that where we've all seen the growth of the San Antonio Spurs, right? In the beginning of the season, what were they doing? We're criticizing them because they were forcing the issue. They were taking bad shots. And now we've seen a kind of a turn here where they've shown some growth. Now they're gonna wait. Now they're gonna go ahead and pass the ball. They're not trying to shoot too early into the shot clock. And you can have all that attributed to Wemby sucking in these defenders because now the guys have time to camp out on the perimeter, Mike, and be like, hey, give me the ball. Hey, I'm open. I can take the shot,
That gravitational pull allows Dylan Harper to find his way into the lane easily. It allows Stefan Castle to get those monster dunks. Looking at Wemby's rebounds the last 4 games, 16 last night, 15 against Milwaukee, 15 the night before that, and 15 against Miami. I mean, that's 4 games in a row of 15 plus. In that span as well, number of blocks, 5, 7, 1, and then 3 last night. Points last 4 games, 26, 19, 23, and 41. He's basically averaging about 28 points per game right now, last 4 games. He's basically averaging 16 rebounds and about 4 assists and 3 blocks.
Yeah.
Wemby is playing as good as he's ever played in his entire career for a stretch of games, Joe. And that's one of the things that we talked about earlier in the season, right? Can he play consistently? And now we're showing that he actually can play consistently and be that generational guy, be that all-star, be that MVP candidate on a night-to-night basis. And that is even scarier for the opposing teams because, again, the better he gets, the more confident he gets, the harder it's going to be to stop him.
Yeah, just like this video is showing right here. It's showing how he kind of gets himself open. And this is a perfect example.
Yeah, man. It's just he's getting space. And you know what he's not doing, Joe? He's not flopping. He's not faking his way to the free throw line. He got 41 points, 37 on the field, 37 on the court, right? Because he had 4 free throws, 37 on the court. SGA, 47 points last night, only 26 on the court. Because 21 came from the free throw line, from the charity stripe. And I'm hoping the officiating gets better in the playoffs when half the officials are told to go home. But Wemby, look at that jab step there, driving it on in. Taller than everybody. It's almost like he's realized, Joe, that, you know what, maybe his height is an advantage. He's no longer taking 10, 12 three-pointers per game. He'll have the occasional game where he's has the green light.
Look at that play.
He now knows how to. It's like basketball IQ is what we're looking at there, Joe. What are you
look at in the past, what would he do? Instead of giving some space, right? He would go ahead and try to bulldoze his way through.
Right.
Similar to the last.
Now he's learned. Look what I can do now. I can take one step, jump, and then who's going to stop you? Once you're in the air, it's over. It's going to be a dunk or somebody's going to be on a poster. You know? They're not going to get in front of him. When he one step, he's gone.
Do you know why he's able to get there now, Joe? Is because his jump shots become more and more respectable.
Yeah.
Shooting over 35% from 3 this year. He has the ability to just, hey, if you're gonna give me the 15-foot jumper, I'll shoot it all day, every day, because I'll knock him in. And it's once he gets that first step on you, he's gone. Castle's the same way, Harper's the same way. They get the first step on you, they're gone. And he's now utilizing his size in a way that he hadn't used it in the past. It was almost like early in the season, he was getting into foul trouble. Why? Because he would turn his body in a certain way, and he'd elbow the face of an opposing player, whether it was faked or not. But now he seems to be more and more proficient with what he's doing. He only had 2 fouls last night. He has more blocks this year than he does have fouls. And last night was another case of that. He had 3 blocks and 2 fouls. So he has the ability now to know what to do, how to position himself. He's no longer afraid of the smaller defender. He now knows what he's going to do when they're at his hip. If they body him up, he now knows what to do with that. Iron sharpened iron this year. And all these things that they were doing to him, Joe, have made him the player that he is now today. We have a super chat coming on in from the Drew Show, the official bank
Here comes the money.
of Area 210 podcast. Drew says, I'm here for the one-way rom-com going in, Jacoby's head over heads crush on Sean Elliott. Will he or won't he? Just kidding. Clearly, Spurs sports entertainment leaning into Zoomer Jacoby aesthetics. He has ruined for a Spurs legend cringe. Okay, so here's the thing. Sorry about that, but it was I need to have some periods around there, you know. Jacob Toby seems to have a crush on a man crush. We all have these, right? A man crush on a certain athlete, right? I fanboyed over Warren Moon when I saw him, right? I have been a professional journalist for so many years. And the second I saw Warren Moon, if I was doing a show with Warren Moon, I'd be like this, Joe.
Jeez.
I would be like, oh my God, there's Warren Moon. Not in a sexual way, but just in a bromance kind of way. And you can tell that Jacob Toby has that with Sean Elliott. That Sean Elliott might have been his favorite player growing up. He may have enjoyed the Taco Cabana commercials way too much growing up.
Gosh.
But it is obvious that there's a man crush there. Obvious. Thank you, Drew Show, for pointing it out. But again, it's a rom-com, right? Will he or won't he?
Yeah.
You know, it is Ross and Rachel.
Here's the thing.
Sean and Jacob.
Here's the thing that Spurs fans got to remember. This is the last you're going to probably see is Sean and Jacob Toby. What's going to happen with this FanDuel Network next year? And I've already gone on record and told you guys. It's going bye-bye. This is the end of it. The league is just letting them kind of finish out the season. But after this, they done. There are going to be no more FanDuel. No more FanDuel means no more what? Sean Elliott, Jacob Toby. Because now you're going to have new play-by-play guys. It's more than likely going to be picked up by a different network. So they're going to have their slate of guys that are going to be calling the games now. So this is the last that you might be seeing of both Jacob Toby and Sean Elliott. And I don't think fans have really fully grasped that yet. Like they get tired of, oh my God, what are they doing with the food? What are they doing with this? You know, and this is the last that you're going to see of somebody local actually calling a Spurs game. Now it's no longer going to be just a local guy. It's going to be somebody who has a national stage.
Well, I don't know if it's going to be rotating people because there has to be some sort of normalcy when it comes to it all. And I would hope that they would have somebody local there. It may not be Toby and Sean Elliott. You're right. That might be the end of their run here. But I hope that it's somebody that is doing the games pretty frequently. Yeah. You know, I don't want to have like a rotating, like it's the NFL on Sunday where it's Tony Romo one day and then Trey the next. And then, you know, I don't want Rob Gronkowski the next day or Tom Brady. I want to have like the same people over and over again. If it's FanDuel, though, Michelle Beadle's part of that network.
Yeah, but they going bye-bye, Mike. You got to understand the whole FanDuel network, that's a Titanic right now going down.
It's going down, but at the same time, is it being assumed or is it being replaced?
So what the league is working on, Mike, is the regional sports network, right? The RSNs. They're trying to go ahead and sell this as a package to another network, right?
No, I get that.
They're going to say, hey, you're going to have to pay an X amount of dollars to go ahead and have the rights to stream these games and show them to, you know, the fan base in those regional sports network areas. So what the league is trying to do, because there's only a handful of sports teams, right? The NBA teams that are part of these RSNs, right? So now the league is trying to get more teams involved because a lot of these teams are kind of doing their own thing, right? They're trying to get more of these teams involved so they can sell the package, you know, as, hey, there's all these teams now instead of just a handful. We have all these teams that are in it now, and we're going to sell it to you for an X amount of dollars because the league wants to make more money. You know, this is basically the bottom line. They want to make more money. What network it'll fall under, I'm not really sure, Mike, because they can't do it on Amazon Prime because they already have an agreement with them. They can't do it with Peacock. Peacock already have an agreement with them, right? And where else do you go at this point? DAZN, DA's, you know, DAZN is what they know it.
They suck.
I know, Mike, but I mean, at the end of the day, they have to look for a platform and they have to look for somebody who's wanting to assume it.
But at the same time, they need to have local people doing the show somehow, some way, because they can't just have, you know, three strangers come out to San Antonio and not know the lore and the history of the Spurs, because people are not going to want that either. I miss the old days of Fox Sports Southwest, right? People are bringing up the guy that looked like Guy Fieri. Joy-Con says, "Bring back the Fox Sports commentator who
I
looks like
remember
Guy
that guy,
Fieri here."
the blonde
That
dude
guy,
with the bleach tips.
yeah, had like white hair. Looked like he had stuck a fork in a socket before this every broadcast.
Oh God, man, I remember that dude.
And by the way, people in the chat bringing up Jeff Garcia from formerly of Locked On
Oh yeah,
Spurs. Here's the thing, man. They said fire Jeff midseason. They didn't fire him. Okay, it's kind of like it's very reminiscent and similar to what happened to me at Sports Star. I got laid off. There's a difference between being laid off and being fired, right? Being
Yeah.
fired means that you were fired for cause. Laid off means whatever it means, man. It could be a budget cut. It could be change in direction or whatever the case may be. So here's the thing, man. I never got fired from Sports Star. I got laid off, right? I was a budgetary thing.
They gave you your shine box, let you do your show notes, and said, "Hey, man, you got to go."
Yeah, and you know what? And I have made amends with people at Sports Star, specifically Tim Spence. Tim Spence
Yeah.
and I, we communicated just the other day. Tim, I thought about Tim when I was in Miami. I reached out to him. He reached out to me. We've been going back and forth by text, and we call each other from time to time. And Tim and I, as much as odds that we were back in the day when we were working together, and even afterwards, have become pretty decent friends over time. Just to let you know, Jeff Garcia does have a new podcast called Spurs in Focus, right?
Yeah.
So if you want to follow Jeff Garcia's content, go onto YouTube or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts and just type in Spurs in Focus. He started this about a week or two ago, and I'm going to be part of that as well. I was talking to him about it. He's excited about it because he says he's going to have the nerdy talk. And you know what I told Joe? What I told Jeff? I said, Jeff, you know what's so great about it? You can be whoever you want to be on this podcast, man.
Yeah.
And he's excited about it, man, because again, you and I have talked about this in the off air about ownership of your own podcast.
Yeah.
Think about this. He took Locked On Spurs from 0 subscribers to 10,000.
Yeah.
Very few people can do that. Now he gets to do it on his own. So go follow Jeff Garcia's podcast, Spurs in Focus. It is now out. I'll be on the show probably at the end of the week, is what I'm thinking. And Jeff's a good friend of both of ours. I know we had some issues a while back, but that's water under the bridge, man. Spurs in Focus, Jeff Garcia, man.
Mike, we sorry.
What's that? Yeah.
Yeah. Man, I got all this people calling me now, dude. I'm like, what is going on? I don't know, it's spammers or what. Because I know I got like that's Apple Watch, that Apple Watch Ultra, the big watch, right? I have that coming in sometime today. And my kids, man, I'm at work, right? And they're home. They couldn't answer the door, dude. I missed the FedEx delivery yesterday, so they're gonna make an attempt to deliver the watch today. And I told them, look, I'm gonna be busy at work. One of y'all's got to answer the damn door, man. Come on, we got a Ring doorbell, and the stupid thing is they watch TV, Mike. When you hit the Ring doorbell, a little like picture shows up in the upper right hand corner, and it shows you somebody's at the door. I'm like, bro, y'all killing me, man. Killing me, dude.
Joe, yeah, dude. I hate it whenever I get those just leave the package, right? I hate the door-to-door sales guy, man. They were here the other day. They were like trying to sell me some pest control type stuff. I'm like, dude, just leave me alone, man. I'm at work right now.
No, yeah.
So
I tell them the same thing, Mike. Sometimes I see the notification comes out on the phone, and if I'm, doing something between work or whatever, when I'm off the phone doing other things, and I have somebody ring the doorbell, I'm like, I'm working, dude. What do you need?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm good, dude. Okay, well, come back. No, don't come back. I'm good. I'm good. Don't come back.
JHNSB is saying starting from 0 podcasters, 0 subscribers is going to be tough, man. Nah, man. When you've got thousands of people who follow you on Twitter, all you got to do is make the announcement. And as I mentioned to Jeff today, I said, hey, man, I can tell what you're doing. You did the soft launch, right, of the podcast. He didn't make this huge announcement.
Yeah.
And then unveil an early show. He's trying to do a proof of concept first. And sometimes it takes 5 or 6 because it's different when it's me and you, Joe. And when it's me and you, we get to bounce back off of each other's vibe and our conversation points, right? He likes to do his show by himself for a while, and then he likes to have one where he has a guest. That's a different concept. It's a different technology going on. So he's soft launching what he's doing. He has 5 or 6 episodes on YouTube right now. It's called Spurs in Focus. But he's doing the proof of concept first before doing the grand reopening of it all.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about it all. Super chat
Hey,
coming on in.
Yep.
Money talk.
Here comes the money.
The Drew Show.
Says, nah, it ain't no man crush. Just saying. Talking about Jacob Toby and Sean Elliott.
Oh, Drew, he killing me, man. Drew's funny, dude.
Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Eddie the Great says, Mira, your extended warranty is expired, Joe.
We all get those calls.
Do you ever
Hey,
get those fake checks in the mail?
oh, God, I
which are-
throw them in the trash, dude.
Oh my God, dude! I swear, Chica looks at them like they're real.
I'm like, throw it away. Don't
Throw
catch
it
it.
away. It ain't real. Although I did get one the other day where I thought it was a fake one, but it was an actual rebate.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I hate rebates, Joe. It's like you never get them on the spot. You get them over time, and you forget that you actually filed for this rebate. I got one the other day for $36, and I was like, "Oh my God, it's a real check! It has like a routing number and account number on it. I can go cash this, man." We have a super check coming in. 20 bones.
Here comes the
The
money.
official
Thank you,
bank
Drew.
and credit union.
Yeah, he's saying that, and this is from my neck of the woods. He goes, all I know is that West Campus high school legend, which is Devin Brown, and UTSA Hall of Famer, and Spurs NBA champ Devin Brown is doing an after show, and that's special. He goes, Casey Vieira isn't bad either. He goes, look, good luck to Jeff's future endeavors. Everybody like and sub. Thank you. Appreciate
That's
that,
right,
Drew.
man.
Thank you
That's
so
right.
much, man.
Devin Brown, man. I haven't spoken to Devin Brown in 20 years, man.
Yeah.
We are the same age, which is funny. Devin Brown, West Campus High School, UTSA, ends up playing for the Spurs, San Antonio Basketball Hall of Fame, San Antonio Sports Hall of Fame. I would love to have Devin Brown on the show. We got to figure that one out. But Devin Brown was always really nice to me back in my KSAT days when he was at UTSA. Then he first came to the Spurs. I was working at KSAT and Ken's back in the day. And he was always really nice to me. So I wish good things for Devin Brown.
Yeah. You know who we need to get back in the studio, man? I haven't talked to my boy in a while, man. Taro Katani, dude. He's the number one Spurs fan from
Japan.
Japan. He's going to be coming back into town for the NBA playoffs, right? Spurs NBA playoffs. And I need to reach out to him and tell him, hey, man, we need to get you in the studio because Taro's he's got a lot of stories, dude. If you never talked to Taro, and Taro's been a good friend of mine for a while. We used to get in some adventures, dude. We used to get into places we got no business getting into. You know, it's all because of Taro. We got into the mayor's office to meet Mayor Ron Nierenberg, who's a busy guy, right? And Taro, I don't know how he does it, dude, but he used to get us in to the mayor's office where the mayor would take time out of his day to just sit down with us and talk sports for like 20 minutes. We'd be in the mayor's office, dude, invited by the mayor, sit down, talk with Mayor Ron Nierenberg. He's a good guy, man. We did that a couple of times, and we get into all these other places that we got no business going into. And it was all because of Taro. We have a lot of stories to tell. It was a lot of fun. We need to get Taro on the show, man.
Hey, man, these super fans from all over the world coming to San Antonio to watch a game is amazing. I
Yeah.
met a family from Brazil who spoke nothing but Portuguese. We were
Jeez.
talking to each other for over an hour there at the game in Miami by Google Translator, by Apple Translator. And it was very nice. I mean, the Spurs are the team of Texas, right? From Round Rock South, right? That includes Austin, San Antonio, all the way to the Brownsville area, Corpus, Laredo del Rio, Eagle Pass. That's Spurs in the territory. But we're
Yeah.
also the team of France because of Wemby. We're also the team of Mexico, right? Los Spurs and Les Spurs. It's amazing the regional and international hold that
Yeah.
the Spurs have. Very, very, very cool. Hey, Joe, we don't talk politics,
No,
but I
this
found
is
that
fine.
whole Jaden Ivy thing yesterday to be kind of dramatic
dude.
and interesting. Jaden Ivy is looking for a new job. For those of you who don't know, Jaden Ivy, I believe was in 2022, was drafted number 5 overall in the draft, and I loved his game coming out of college. But Jaden Ivy was told to grab his shine box yesterday by the Chicago Bulls. He was drafted number 5 overall in 2022 by the Detroit Pistons.
Yeah.
Made second team all rookie his first year, averaged 16 points his rookie campaign. Averaged 18 points almost in 2024, 2025. Now out of a job. He kind of went on a rant yesterday. And there was a rant that he did at the gym, rant that he did on a plane, where some called it homophobic, some called it religious freedom, religious liberty. He basically went after the NBA for having Pride Month celebrated at arenas and whatnot, and basically said that it was wrong biblically, this and the other, trying to make it a biblical thing, right?
Getting on his soapbox.
Getting on a soapbox, and then he went off and started talking crap about Steph Curry, saying that Steph Curry was not a Christian and that he's going to be judged one day and all this stuff. And
Jeez,
it's
man.
like, why is he doing this? And then he gets let go for conduct detrimental to the team. And he looks up and says, well, how am I being detrimental to the team? I don't even see the team. I'm in rehab. And this is where
Say less, man.
superstars get certain types of respect and others don't, right? Jaden Ivy might be a good basketball player. It might have been a top 5 pick of the NBA draft 5 years ago. But the guy has missed like 160 out of the last 200 games. He's never there. He has played only 4 games this year because of injury. That he's already been shut down for the year.
Yeah.
So he missed 78 out of 82 games this year. Last year only played 30. 33 last year. The year before that played only 30. You know, we make fun of Zion Williamson for never being available. What does it say when there's 256 games or 246 games in 3 years, and you played only 67 of them?
That's bad, man.
So you've missed essentially 75% of the seasons the last 3 years, and you're going to run your mouth off?
No.
You have freedom of speech and freedom of expression, all that, but at the end of the day, if you're a bigger headache than you are an asset to the team, you have no job.
Yeah, he gone. He got his shine box.
And JHNSB reaching out to us saying that, you know, we have domestic abusers and all that stuff, but heaven forbid a man be publicly Christian. There are a lot of Christians who don't believe what he believes. That's the thing, is that is not a Christian stance. That is a stance of some Christians, not all. Okay, and it's not to get on the soapbox or anything, but there's no monolith when it comes to it all. And a lot of what he quotes is Old Testament, not New Testament. Look at the big difference between the two. If you go Old Testament, then you believe eye for an eye. And
look at
all
Tex
that
Mex
crap.
Craig. He says, so he is not with the team right now. How do you get fired on
Fired
your day off?
like the movie Clerks.
Jeez, dude.
Like the movie
Yeah.
Clerks, you know?
He got fired. He gone.
You know, Detroit gave up on him because he was not available. So it's like he didn't get fired for being Christian. He got fired because he was being a jackass and attacking other players. If you're going off, if any Spur were to go off and say, hey, man, I don't think Steph Curry's a Christian, who the hell's, like, whose job is it for him to say that? Right? I mean, what kind of jerkwad will say that?
He's obviously on the influence of something, man. Like, there's something going on with him, dude. All you can do is be like, you wish him the best. Hopefully he gets out of rehab. He's all right, you know, and he goes on to do something else, you know, but
I apologize for the movie Friday and Clerks having the same punchline. Gotta find out which movie came out first. How'd you get fired on your day off? Okay, you're right. It is Friday. You're right. But I remember from Clerks better because I don't know why I just do. Go ahead, Joe. I apologize.
no, I was just saying, you just wish the dude the best. Good luck, man. You know, bye.
Is he ever going to have an NBA career? Because the last time he was playing, Joe, he was averaging 17.6 points per game. That was the last, season where he had significant time.
Yeah.
But it's been 3 years removed from all that. He broke his leg. He has knee issues. He's still only like in his mid to late 20s. It's not like he's old.
But at the end of the day, though, Mike, like even us, right? We're on this public platform or whatever. We kind of got to watch what we say too, because when you get up here and you start saying certain things or you start, acting a certain way, it's a detriment, right? To your brand and to you as a person, right? Because you say the wrong thing, Mike, and then what happens? You're instantly out, right? And people just don't see you the same anymore, right? And it's hard to get back to where you were once something like that happens. And with Jaden Ivy, I mean, doesn't have a job now. He's probably never going to sniff the court in an NBA context, and having a job after the NBA, who's going to want to touch him and be like, hey, we want you to come on our show and be an analyst for us, because you don't know what version of him you're going to have, right? Like, what if he goes off on live air when he's trying to talk about the game of basketball? You know, when it's Pride Month and you have this stuff going on in the background, is he going to get on the soapbox and be like, you know what, kids? You know, like, no, man, you can't do that.
When is Pride Month? I thought that passed. Is that going on
It
right
did
now?
pass. It had passed already,
So
but
what's
I'm
he
saying,
talking
like,
about?
I mean,
he's like,
he's just, I don't know, man. He's mad about nothing because it's already done, you know?
and it's funny because, like, again, freedom of speech doesn't mean that you can't have freedom of consequence.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just simply it. He's not going to get arrested for what he said,
No.
but can he be
no.
let go? Yeah.
Yeah.
And if he averaged 18 points per game and was rehabbing and coming back in a couple of weeks, he'd still be on the team.
Hasn't this kind of scenario played out before? Like certain athletes go on and they either give an interview to somebody in the media or in the context of an interview on live TV, they say something stupid and then they're just never looked upon the same again, you know, and they're not asked
Yeah.
to be on TV anymore because you never know what version of them you're going to get.
Right. Now, Jaden Ivy coming out and saying that he doesn't like Pride Month. You know what? I mean, Harrison Butker said the same thing, right?
Yeah,
He's
all
still
right.
playing for the Kansas City Chiefs. But it's when he goes out and personally attacks a superstar and says somebody that he doesn't even know, or I'm sure is not even friends with, or has hung with, in Steph Curry, saying that he's not Christian, blah, blah, blah. Seriously, shut the hell up. Because you know what's not Christian, Joe? Being that guy. Okay. So let's talk
It is
about
what it is, man.
let's talk about the other things around the NBA. SGA wearing the shades. Joe, what do you think about SGA wearing shades in the post game conference yesterday?
That's so stupid, dude.
Game
Wearing
interview
shades,
yesterday.
wearing shades or wearing your fake fur coats or whatever. I'm like, why, dude? It looks dumb. You know, that's stupid. Take those damn glasses off. You're in the NBA. You're not just some dude watching the game or whatever. You know, if you are cool, you can do that. You can do whatever you want. You're not getting paid the big money to be out there and perform and getting all these millions of dollars and then coming to an NBA press conference wearing shades and chains and a fur coat. Like, come on, man. What are we doing? Take that off. Take that off your face.
Yeah, can you imagine if Wemby had done that? Wemby
Oh,
wouldn't be as
man.
hated. And I wonder if he's just feeling himself, because if you look since January 1, the Spurs have a 2-game lead over Oklahoma City for best record in the NBA, right? Since January 1. And I know that OKC went on a 23-1 run to start the season. But since January 1, when they say, hey, man, the season starts till January, you hear that old phrase, till Christmas time.
Yeah.
Spurs have the best record in the league since then. And the losses that the Spurs have, half of them are because they rested Wemby that day.
Yeah.
SGA might be costing himself votes. We've seen Stephen A. Smith come out and say it. And then we heard Brian Windhorst earlier today say, can you imagine if SGA is handed this award and then Wemby wins the title? That historically, it would look like the stupidest MVP of all time. And I'm going to give you a Spurs perspective on this, Joe. Remember when Robinson won the MVP and Hakeem kicked his ass in the playoffs and won the title?
I remember that's when the Spurs were the number 1 overall seed.
That is the corollary there. That is the rationale. That was the first thing I thought when that fat man Brian Windhorst said that. He was fitting in the box. He was somehow actually he's lost weight, so and I shouldn't talk. But the thing is that Windhorst said that, he goes, historically this might look stupid. Kind of like historically, calling Robinson the best player in 1994 is stupid when you saw what Hakeem did to him.
Yeah.
I was there, baby. I seen it.
How does Windhorst do it? The thing is like, look at how easily we fit in our boxes, right? Like ESPN couldn't do that for Wendy. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Just zoom out on the brother a little bit, just a little bit.
Meantime, LeBron James had a triple-double yesterday. No Luka Doncic. Doncic was suspended a game for having 16 technical fouls. Lakers still ended up winning last night. Everyone's all hot and bothered on ESPN because LeBron had a triple-double. I will say this, Joe. That'll probably be his last regular season triple-double of his entire career. LeBron, this better be LeBron's final year, man. I'm tired of that dude. But LeBron going off and getting a trip dub yesterday.
He's back.
He's back, baby.
Oh, my God.
The Hawks beat the Celtics yesterday, 112-102. Man, that pick that we had from the Hawks, it's looking more and more like Atlanta might actually make a run in the Eastern Conference. They might be better than Detroit, who was without Kate Cunningham. They might be better than Cleveland. That pick that we had from the Hawks, which was looking like a tasty lottery pick, is now looking like number 23 in the draft this year. Your San Antonio Spurs. T-Wolves beat the Mavericks yesterday. I found it to be funny because the score was so lopsided. It was like by 50 points yesterday. T-Wolves looking good. T-Wolves, the only team in the NBA to have beaten the Spurs and the Thunder twice this year. That's a great stat. That's probably the team that you want to avoid. And speaking of teams that you want to avoid, ESPN had a article last night that came out that said teams that everybody wants to avoid in the playoffs. Guess what they had the Lakers team to avoid?
What?
The Spurs. Guess what they had the Spurs team to avoid?
The Wolves.
The Lakers.
Why are the Spurs?
What do you mean? How does ESPN print an article that says that the Lakers want to avoid the Spurs and the Spurs want to avoid the Lakers? Help me make sense of it all, Joe.
It doesn't make any sense. Why would the Spurs be afraid of the Lakers for one? The Lakers don't have a deep team. There's no way they're going to be able to dispatch the Spurs in a 7-game series. They could make it interesting. I'll give them that. Maybe they win 2 games. The Spurs win in 6. Okay. But the Lakers just don't have the same amount of firepower that the Spurs have. The Spurs eventually are going to break on through and they're going to run them out of the gym, Mike.
I would hope so, man, because I'm looking at this team yesterday. They played Vanderbilt 23 minutes yesterday. They played Kennard 23. They played Jackson Hayes 20 and Bronny 26. Dude, if Bronny's getting 26 minutes of run against the Spurs, they're going to get annihilated.
Can you imagine Bronny trying to guard Wemby? I mean, come on, Mike.
But they did this because there was no Luka, who Luka usually gets 38 minutes per game. LeBron James yesterday, 21 points, 10 rebounds, 12 assists, shot 8 of 16 from the field in 33 minutes. Austin Reeves had 19 points, but had an off shooting night. LaRavia only had 4 points. Hashimura only had 14. I mean, the Lakers have shooters that can go off any moment, but I don't see why the Spurs would want to avoid the Lakers, even though the Lakers have been playing exceptionally well. Now 49 and 26 on the year, kind of solidifying themselves as the 3 seed in the Western Conference. So there's like 7 games to go for them.
That means that they're thinking the Lakers are going to get out of the first round, and that might not even happen.
I know. They probably play Houston.
That's a toss-up between the Lakers and Houston. Who do you think is going to win? This is the sad thing about it. When you look at it and you have former Spur assistant coach Ime Udoka, right? And you look and see what he does with this Houston Rockets team. He ain't it, dude. He ain't the coach. Like the Houston Rockets, they're not going to win with Ime Udoka as the head coach, dude. It ain't gonna happen.
Hey man, he cheated on Neil Long. He's dead to me.
Yeah, he's a overrated coach. Everybody thinks that he's really good. He's not, man. He can't make adjustments. And you look and see the schemes that he runs out there. It ain't it, dude. In order for the Rockets to like go to that next level, they're gonna have to ditch him, man.
Mm-hmm. They don't have a point guard though, man. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's another issue. They got problems over there.
Spurs have won 9 in a row. The Denver Nuggets have won 6 in a row. And they got Utah coming up. So when the Spurs play Denver on Saturday afternoon, 2 p.m. tip-off there in San Antonio, it's very possible the Spurs will be on a 10-game winning streak and Denver on a 7-game winning streak when they play each other. Denver also has Oklahoma City and San Antonio to end the year, back-to-back games to end the year. They're trying to hold on to that 4th spot in the Western Conference so that they can at least host the first round of the playoffs. Let's give some love to P.F. Chang's La Cantera, Joe. They're our ride or die, baby. We ride with P.F. Chang's La Cantera for that Asian cuisine. They have those craft cocktail collection going for $8.99 at the moment. Let's give some love to Sean Quintero, who helps run P.F. Chang's La Cantera.
P.F. Chang's La Cantera, San Antonio's premier destination for dinner, date night, or happy hour. Enjoy one of their signature dishes, such as the Singapore street noodles, sesame chicken, or Chang's spicy chicken, or their infamous Chang's chicken lettuce wraps, which are delicious, by the way. You can enjoy all this while you're dining in an Asian-inspired atmosphere. And make sure to enjoy the new outdoor patio and try some of P.F. Chang's signature cocktails and drinks during happy hour, Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. P.F. Chang's La Cantera is a proud sponsor of the Area 210 podcast.
They do a fantastic job with that cuisine. You'll take a look at the 8 signature cocktails that they have On sale right now for $8.99. The 2 martinis are amazing, man. The mule's fantastic. I have yet to try the Long Island, but I will pretty soon. And again, Wednesdays, half off bottles of champagne, half off bottles of wine. Go tell Sean Quintero from PF Chang's La Cantera that we sent you over there. The Area 210 sent you over there. They do an amazing job. And thank you so much for being a sponsor of this show. Joe, imagine winning Powerball and then getting arrested 3 times within 1 year of winning. How stupid do you have to be?
You have to be real stupid, dude.
I posted a photo of this dude on my
Okay.
Facebook, on my Twitter account, right?
Let's check him out.
His name is James Farthing. First of all, his name is Farthing.
Farthing?
Yeah, like
Farthing?
the first 4 letters of his name, last name is Fart. He's a
Oh,
51-year-old, and he's been arrested for second-degree burglary and marijuana possession. Got arrested Saturday in Lexington, Kentucky. He won a $167.3 million jackpot last year. The most recent arrest was for breaking into a home and stealing $12,000 in cash. Why, Joe? And then also, he had a burning joint still in his car when he got arrested. Now, he did share this award, I believe it was with his mother. Yeah, 77-year-old. So they shared this before. But he was there with the big check, $177 million. And he's been arrested 3 times since, Joe. And now he might be going to prison to steal 12 grand.
and there's a saying, man. You can take this guy out of the hood, but you can't take the hood out of him. You know? These are just bad habits, dude. Like, facts. What happened? Remember the case in point? Remember years ago, what was that Dallas Cowboy player that got caught stealing socks and cologne?
Oh,
and underwear?
yeah.
It's the same
Yeah.
principle, man. It's like, it's
That's
just
so
bad habits.
stupid.
Yeah, it's bad habits, dude. That's all that is.
So the guy spent $2 on a lottery ticket at a place called Pump and Shop near his hometown. He and his mom won $167.5 million. His third arrest is the big win. He was picked up for second-degree burglary, marijuana possession. He had other charges against him. He drove off in a black Porsche, by the way. So he broke into a home with a burning joint, and he drove off in a black Porsche. Like that could be seen, right?
Yeah. You know what? Maybe he'll be looking like Drew shows as Tiger going to prison too. I said maybe they'll be cellmates. Oh,
He's had
God.
drunken charges against him, assault charges against him. The guy has all the money in the world now, and now he's going to prison. At least he can afford the legal defense, right?
These are just bad habits, Mike.
So I showed a chart on my Twitter account earlier from Vox. Not that I follow Vox, but I thought it was a fantastic article. It said that in the United States, the people who smoke cigarettes has declined to the lowest it's ever been in the nation's history.
No.
In fact, back in 1965, nearly 45% of American adults smoke cigarettes. And beginning in 2024, it's a new study based on 2024's numbers. So that for the first time in U.S. history, the smoking percentage of Americans has dropped below 10% for the first time ever. Now just at 9.9%. So for every basically 100 American adults out there that we see at HEB, 10 smoke cigarettes and 90 don't. When it used to be 45 did and 55 don't. I talk about this with my family all the time. My mom and dad tell me that they used to smoke cigarettes back in the day. My dad hasn't smoked a cigarette in 40 years. My mom said that she hasn't smoked a cigarette in 50 years. But times are a-changing, Joe. What do you think about the fewer and fewer people smoking these days in America?
I mean, it's something that is showing you where the trend is going. A lot of the kids nowadays, they don't do like cigarettes. They do vape, you know, or they smoke marijuana now. So I would like to say that this graphic is kind of skewed, right? So now they're not smoking cigarettes, But I bet you the marijuana smoking's gone way up now that it's become legal in certain states, right? Same
Hmm.
with vaping. That's kind of been the trend that's going up now. While they're not looking towards cigarettes anymore, they're finding other ways to go ahead and still enjoy the bad habit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I understand that they're going to other things, right? But I think people are drinking less now as well. I mean, those who are Gen X and Zennial, if you're born from 65 through 82 or so, we still drink, man. We drink more than those who are young guys now. I know my daughter's generation right now, she's in her early 20s. They'll get drunk once in a while, but
Yeah.
usually it's one or two drinks and that's it for the weekend, right? Whereas we pound them back. Chica and I at the beach this past weekend pound back a few drinks, right? That's just our generational thing, man. They asked me if I wanted a cigarette, right? Because we were there with a couple that smoked cigarettes. Well, actually, one vaped, one smoked cigarettes. And I was gonna say yes. I did one of those things where I went like that to go grab it. I was like, nah, it's okay. Because I used to smoke cigarettes every once in a while,
Yeah.
right? When I was at the club, at the bar, maybe
Socially.
once a month.
Yeah.
I would have a cigar every 3 or 4 months or so, but once a month or maybe twice a month, I'd pick up a cigarette or two. And it was never me going into the Texaco or the Valero or the Diamond Shamrock and asking for a pack of Marlboro Reds or Marlboro Lights or whatever. I would bum a cigarette off of somebody at the bar,
Yeah.
right? But when they stopped allowing you to smoke, 'cause remember they used to have these things where it's like, well, you could have a smoking section, but it'd have to be like, you'd have to have walls up around it.
Yeah.
And it ended up becoming like a chimney inside of there. When they started doing that, I stopped smoking. But it's kind of funny how the habits change. You mentioned vaping, dude. I spoke to an underwriter at a large life insurance company, and this is the head underwriter, the ones who crunches the data for what causes people to die. She told me, Joe, that her number one concern was vaping more than anything else.
I believe it.
Because I think vaping is more dangerous than drugs.
They don't really know what's
in
kind of
it.
side effects that you're going to have years afterwards, because there's not enough data for it yet, right? So you have the popcorn lung, stuff like that. That's already
Yeah.
been known, but you don't know what other kind of health issues you're going to have further down the line. And I'm sure there'll be some data like years after we're probably gone that'll say, yeah, that stuff was bad. You shouldn't have done it, but
Mhm.
there's other, like I said, man, it's the advent of newer ways to have these companies peddle their wares. Years ago it was like the Marlboro Man. Remember those old commercials?
Mhm.
And now it's those little pouches, the little nicotine pouches they have now, the Zins or whatever they
The
have.
Zins, yeah.
Yeah, it's basically chaw. It's like tobacco that you chew, but it's in a little pouch now. You can just put it in your mouth and you just do it like
Well,
that.
it's nicotine. If I'm not mistaken, it's nicotine with no tobacco.
Yeah, I mean it's still nicotine though, which is very addictive, right? So it's basically like you're doing chaw, right? And then you have the vape and all that. So those are just things that have just come up here in the last couple of years. Oh, we did
And
get a super chat.
Yeah, it's weird.
Money talk.
Here comes the money.
There you go. That one's coming up. 199 incoming super chat from Jason Garcia. He says, Happy Taco Tuesday to you and yours. Thank
Hey,
you,
man,
Jason.
congratulations to Jason, new homeowner, man. Congratulations
Yeah,
to you, Jason.
congrats.
He was telling me about that yesterday. It's not Happy Taco Tuesday because the last time I tried getting a taco, you turned me down, Joe, and I was so pissed off.
We're on a health kick, Mike.
Well, Chica just texted me right now that it is Sloppy Joe night here at the Jimenez household, so she's getting excited.
Nice.
Getting me excited. Go get the hamburger buns. Dude, Chica is the best cook I've ever met in my entire life, dude. She does a fantastic job. But we're gonna talk about the 31-year passing of Selena Quintanilla on the other side. Let's give some love to Hard Rock Cafe San Antonio, one of our other major sponsors.
The Hard Rock Cafe, San Antonio is Riverwalk dining at its best. With great scenic views along with its amazing collection of rock memorabilia, there is something for everyone. Enjoy happy hour weekdays from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. with $8 and $10 appetizers, $5 domestic drafts, and $6 craft import drafts at the bar only. Try some of the Hard Rock Cafe's legendary steak burgers, or my personal favorite, such as the grilled salmon or baby back ribs. Make sure to visit the third level and enjoy the DJ as you take in the city skyline. The Hard Rock Cafe is a proud sponsor of the Area 210 podcast.
Hard Rock Cafe San Antonio does a fantastic job when it comes to food, when it comes to drink, and it's a great place to have a date night as well. You can overlook the Riverwalk. We had an amazing time there for our podcast party last month. Go check out Hard Rock Cafe San Antonio. Not only do they have good food and good drink, but also all the memorabilia they have over there. Some of it involving Selena Quintanilla, who on this day back in March 31st of 1995. I was 18 years old, Joe. I was 2 months away from graduating Holmes High School when word came down that she had died. Joe, I remember this because I have a friend who has a sister named Vanessa. And I remember seeing her cry at the school. I remember I came back from lunch or something like that. It was in the afternoon. And I'm walking around, and Holmes High School has a circular buildings for the most part. And I remember her on the ground, sitting down, like sitting down on the ground with her knees up and just crying like this. And there were 2 or 3 others with her that looked upset. And I was like, what the heck's going on? And they told me that the singer Selena had died. And Selena was very, very popular in Texas, California, Arizona, New Mexico. Very popular in Mexico as well. Iconic. She won multiple Latin Grammys, and she became a traditional Grammy Award winner as well. And the Quintanilla family has made a lot of money off of her ever since, man. She became more popular in death than she did while she was alive. And Joe, do you remember where you were? Is that a moment where you remember where you were, or is it one of those things where like
I was working years ago. I was working at a store actually off of Military Drive. And me and my coworkers there, we're kind of like going through the motions at the end of the day, the end of the night, things coming to a close. So we're kind of cleaning up the store, putting things back up and all that. And we're listening to the radio because one of the girls was like, hey, did you all hear what's going on? And then they put the radio on in the store for all of us to hear. And that's when we're listening to it. And then they had announced on air live that Selena had passed away, that she was shot by Yolanda, and then they tried to save her, but they couldn't. And they announced that she had passed. So we're like, wow. And I just remember a lot of the women there were crying and sobbing because Selena had passed away, So it was like, I guess I didn't realize the impact, the full impact that she really had on a lot of people's lives at the time, because at this point in time, she was coming out of just being, predominantly Tejano based, right? Or not Tejano, but like more of the Latin based music, right? Where it was all Spanish and all that. And then she was trying to break on through and had her English album, that was starting to get some airtime, starting to become a little bit popular. And right before she was going to, on that trajectory to kind of take off, this happens to her, so we never know the possibility of what would have happened. This would have just probably been the stepping stone for bigger things for her.
And a lot of people got mad at me for saying that I didn't think that she was going to be this mega superstar in English because, like you said, we don't know. Maybe she would have been.
I think
Maybe
she would have.
maybe she wouldn't have. And I personal opinion thought she would have had 1 or 2 hits in English, and that's basically it. I didn't think she was going to be the next Madonna or the next Beyonce or the next whatever, right?
Yeah.
This was before. See, before then, you had the Latin boom of the late '90s, right? And you had Ricky Martin come out of the '97 Grammys, he Copa de Vida for the World Cup, the Living La Vida Loca in '99. You had Mark Anthony, Enrique Iglesias. You had Jennifer Lopez, who rode the coattails of the Selena legacy as well because of acting in the movie. Would she have ridden that wave along with it? Would she have been part of that wave? Maybe for a couple of songs, personal opinion, maybe 2 or 3 hits, I think. But I don't think she would have been like, this whole.
She would have been a mega superstar, Mike. She would have. She would have been bigger than Jennifer Lopez.
Well, Jennifer Lopez wouldn't have been Jennifer Lopez if it wasn't for her passing.
No, Selena was still here. Selena would have gotten I think she would have actually transitioned into maybe acting in some movies and stuff. Eventually it would have happened.
And that's where you got me, Joe. That's where you got me because I think about it only from a musical standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think about it. Maybe you had me maybe you corrected me on that, where I never thought, well, maybe she would have transitioned to acting and TV or whatever the case may be. But I remember she used to perform at Lackland Air Force Base. I remember being at an event that she was at when she was performing at Lackland. I didn't know who she was. She was just that cute girl singing up there.
Hi, Jennifer. You want to say hi to Jen Noriega in the chat?
But, in retrospect, she had a lot of fans out there that were really loyal to her because she was the girl next door from Corpus Christi and all that stuff. But I wonder, do we know the whole storyline about what happened? Because we have that Disney production of a movie in the movie Selena, which was helmed by the Quintanilla family and
Yeah.
AB. It's sanitized. We don't know the true story. And I know there've been documentaries afterwards that were on Netflix and whatnot, but I just think that it gets lost in history. It's more legendary. Like, when we think of Davy Crockett, it's not what actually Davy Crockett was, right? But then you turn your attention to Yolanda Saldivar, who's served 30 years in prison, was up for parole, got denied. She's going to be let go, Joe, at some point.
Says you?
No, she's going to be let go at some point. Says the state. She has served a life sentence. And usually it's not. Do you believe that she should be in prison longer because she saw somebody who is prominent versus somebody who's not? Because then you have to have that argument: is one life greater than the other? Because if people who commit murder, Joe, are serving 10, 20 years, 25 years, they get let go. So she cannot be held in because she shot Selena? That's the only reason why? Is there a legal standing to say, oh, well, she was a singer and she was a Grammy winner, therefore we can't let her go? Now, I do believe that something will happen to Yolanda the second she walks out there.
Oh, dude, yeah. She's for the streets at that point, Mike. Once she gets out, I don't know, man. The life expectancy for somebody like that isn't going to be very long. She's going to have to move to Alaska or somewhere where nobody knows who she is, dude.
I'm not advocating for her to be let go, but what I'm saying is that, it wasn't capital murder. Capital murder, you're there for life. It was just straight up murder that she was sentenced to. First degree murder conviction, 30-year sentence. 30 years to life sentence, right? Usually a life sentence is 30 years. So usually 30 is a life sentence. I'm not saying that I want her let release or that she should.
You can go pick her up.
Her latter years, or I'm going to go pick her up from wherever she's at. I don't know where she's at in South Texas. Is she at the Dominguez? Where's she at?
I have no idea.
I looked that up, Joe. She is at. You would think that she's in South Texas, right?
Yeah.
She's in Gatesville, Texas. Where the hell that's at? The Patrick L. O'Daniel Women's Prison in Gatesville, Texas. I don't think she's going to be released anytime soon. But I bet you, Joe, we're going to have this conversation in the year 2035. Yolanda is going to be 75 years old, and I bet you she's going to get released.
You know what? I was going to tell you, kind of transition into what's going to be
real fast. Chris Gonzalez saying that Selena would have been great. Would have been great in fashion. Am I the only one who thought that Selena's fashion was kind of just all right?
Who's to
not
say
saying it was bad, but I'm like, is it so
Mike,
iconic that it would have lived on today?
Is there anything that your Latino people can do that you're actually going to praise?
What do you want me to say?
You hate everything Latino. Everything's always too ethnic for you. Who's to say that her fashion choices for the time period were kind of ahead of their time? Who's to say that at some point in time it would have kind of come to a head, right? Where, hey, she's doing this at the right time, it takes off, and who you never know. Like, she could have been one of these let's say singers that transitions into having a clothing line, kind of like, you see some of these other celebrities do.
I like how you phrase it, Joe.
You
said you never know. And that's where I push back against these people who are like adamant, like it would have happened. She was going to be a superstar. She was going to cross over and she would have done this and done that. That's what I push off against, because I think you're phrasing it the right way. You never know. You might be right. We'll never know. But there's so many people in San Antonio and South Texas who believe that she was going to be like Madonna.
Who's to
And that's
say she
where
wouldn't have?
probably Logic.
No, that's like you at some
I'm
point.
gonna give you an impression, Joe. Let's look up Selena on Spotify. She's a megastar, right? Even after all these years, right? Megastar, right? I'm gonna look up her most played song, Joe. What do you think of the number of millions of views? I mean, there are songs out there.
Como
that
La
have,
Flor or Bitty Bitty Bom Bom, something like that.
there have been artists from the '90s who have had. Okay, I'll give you an example.
Text makes Frank.
She
This
has
is you, Mike.
she has 5 songs. She has 6 songs that over 200 million listens to, which is very, very, very respectable.
It's very
But
good. What are you
It's
talking
very
about?
respectable. It's very respectable. I would have thought it would have been more.
That's Spotify, Mike. You haven't even got into the other music platforms.
But you compare Spotify to someone else's
Oh, my
Spotify is what I'm
God,
saying.
Mike.
But 31 years ago, Joe, what did you think of the movie Selena?
Thought it was all right, dude. I didn't mind watching it.
Did you like J-Lo's performance?
It's okay. I thought she did a good job at the time. I mean, you couldn't have found a better actress to portray Selena at that point in time, because you're gonna want somebody, a big name, to kind of bring
But
attention.
she wasn't a
to
big
the
name.
film.
J-Lo was a
She
nobody
was
at that
at the
point.
time. She was already starting to be on the rise.
She had a couple of movies there. She had
Yeah.
like Bullet Train or whatever that movie was with
She was a star
Anaconda or
already.
something like that.
She was already a star at that time, Mike. It's like this was a big role for her.
Were you okay with her being Puerto Rican?
Sure.
See, that was a big debate back in the day, was whether or not to have her be Puerto Rican or not. And then the Alamo Dome was used, if I'm not mistaken, as a centerpiece for what was supposed to be the Astrodome concert. But no, Selena's music was popular, man. I tell you what, you go to any school dance. I took my daughter Ava and Gabby back in the day to their school dances, the father-daughter dances and stuff like that. It still jams, dude. There's certain songs out there that are iconic, and it's sad because Tejano kind of died the second that she died because it never became as popular again. But you look at like certain musicians. The comedian Joy Coy the other in one of his specials talks about the fact that 90s music became iconic when it came to hip hop because you listen to hip hop now, and you compare that to Biggie, you compare that to Pac, you compare that to Snoop and Dre, you compare that to Eminem. There's no comparison to it all. When you hear certain songs, you stop in your tracks and you just listen and you bop to it. You just bang to it or whatever, right? So this music is that way. I respect that especially in San Antonio, Tucson, Houston, LA, when Como La Flor comes on, when Bitty Bitty Bom Bom comes on, when about 12 of her songs come on, people stop. You go to Market Square, they stop. Rosedale Park, you stop what you're doing and you listen. And I will say this though, I will say I will give props to on her music, Joe, is that it's timeless. Like that music, if it was released today, would be popular. I said that about Usher. I will give that props to Selena Quintanilla right there. Is that if her music was released today, same songs, same recordings, same masterings, it'd be popular because it's timeless music. I will give her that. But I don't know if she would have been like some English superstar. I don't know. Maybe she would. Maybe she wouldn't. I'm just saying that I'm not in the crowd of it was a certainty.
We're moving on before you dig yourself any deeper.
I'm not digging myself any deeper. It's who I am.
This is what we're gonna showcase. I thought this was funny. By Tex-Mex Frank. He's saying,
is this Easter?
It's Easter's coming up, so this is what
Get
the parks
outta
are gonna look
here.
like. And you know what? All these people here that are going to the parks and doing this, Mike, guess what they're doing? They're gonna be blasting some Selenas. Sooner or later, it's gonna happen.
Is this still a thing, Joe?
It's still a thing, dude. They do this every year.
To
here in
quote
the
Mike
San Antonio
Taylor, in the
parks.
year of our Lord, the year
Yeah.
of Mary 2026,
Yeah.
we're still camping out at Brack.
Still camping out at Bracken. Here's the thing that you got to realize that happens, right? Everybody tapes off their little spots and they put their chairs with the chains and the cooler and all that kind of stuff because they got to get the best spots over at Brack and they're all fighting for it. And every single year, the same thing happens, man. It's like this torrential downpour happens like the night of Easter, dude. All hell breaks loose. Like there's some type of thunderstorm or something, and it just decimates the campgrounds. And then the next morning, it's a beautiful day, and everybody comes out, and you have the grills firing up, and families having a good time. But it's like clockwork. You could set your watch by it. Almost every single year, Mike, it rains somewhere in the middle of the night on Easter Sunday.
This upsets me, Joe, to no end, man. I mean, I remember back in the 90s, back in the 80s, the camp out at Brackenridge Park to get a spot, or Camargo Park, or whatever to get an Easter spot, Joe. But in 2026, I mean, back in the day before TV and before Netflix and before computers and all that stuff, this made sense, right? To go
It's a
line up
tradition.
to go line up for Battle of Flowers parade seats, Easter stuff, and all that stuff. And you'd have like somebody defending a couple of picnic tables, and you'd have somebody there. But here are 3 things that shouldn't happen anymore, Joe. No one should stay in line on Black Friday for anything.
Yeah. Okay.
Nobody should stay in line and overnight to go to a parade. And no one should spend the night for 2 or 3 nights to get an Easter spot at any park.
It's
That is
traditions,
dumb.
Mike.
That's a dumb tradition, Joe. It was
Each
fun
his
back in
own.
the day. It was fun back in the day when there was nothing better to do. But there are more parks out there than Brack. Where is this, by the way?
I don't know what park this is, but it's just an example of what is to come, for Easter Sunday. I've never done this, and I don't feel the need to. But what I have done with my family, and what I'm going to start doing now, is I'll go and I'll get a camp spot, right? Like not even here in San Antonio. I go out of San Antonio. The last time I went to like Guadalupe State Park, right? And it was just me and my kids and the wife at the time. And then we went to Guadalupe State Park for an Easter Sunday. And it was just us by ourselves. And then my family found out I had went, and then everybody wanted to join me. But I remember the kids had a blast, dude. They were just playing by the river. It was cool. I woke up like at 6:30 in the morning, walked from my campsite, go down the river, and I went and picked out my little spot because there was nobody there. It was just me and basically 1 or 2 other people. And I just sat up there, took my time, and then finally when they opened the gates, I didn't know how bad the line was. And they opened the gates like at 7:30 in the morning, something like that. The line was like super long to get in there. And like the campers that are there like me, we had already all got the best spots. People were already in the river with their canopy and everything. And then the masses come in and everybody's running and falling down with their coolers and trying to get spots. I'm like, this is ridiculous, dude.
Oh, it's stupid, is what it is. Joe, I mean, think about it, man. Think about it. Like, I'll give you an example. Last night or yesterday, Chica wanted to go buy a box spring for our bed. We bought a brand new bed a
Yeah.
couple of months ago, and it didn't come with a box spring, but we're like, we'll just try it with the mattress only, right? And it's not the best night's sleep without the box spring. So we kind of gave in yesterday and said, let's go get a box spring.
Yeah.
So we went to a couple of places looking for a box spring, and we either A, you have to order it, or B, it was too. I didn't want to spend as much for this, that, the other, right? Because I was like, oh, well, it's cheaper at another place, whatever. And I looked at Francesca after a while, and I was like, babe, why don't we just like Amazon this thing? And she goes, oh, yeah, it's on Amazon. It will be here tomorrow. And that's what I'm thinking when it comes to this, Joe. Like, it used to be, let's go, because after about 30 minutes of shopping for a box spring, I looked at my wife and I thought to myself, why are we shopping for a box spring when Amazon exists?
You kind of
And-
want to
and-
see what it is maybe first before you buy it. That's the
Well-
thing you don't get to do with online shopping.
But looking at this, Joe, why would I ever want to go to a park this at 2026? Again, 1996 was different. In 2026, why would I want to go outside and be at a park with 1 million people?
Yeah, that doesn't sound appealing to me. But if you go to like a state park, it's different, right? Because you can only have so many people there.
Right.
And I've done that several times and I've enjoyed that quite a bit. Like I'm going to start doing that with my nieces now that they're of age, they're kind of preteens and all that, and they can enjoy this stuff more. They like hanging out with uncle anyway, right? So if we do these things, they're going to have a lot of fun. And I just make it fun for them too. Like I have a little like inflatable kayak and a paddle board or whatever, and I just blow it up and be like, "Have at it, girls. Just put on your life vest before you get in the water."
Well, Joe, let me ask you this: you go camping with your nieces, right?
Yeah.
Is it the same type of tent like that?
Yeah, I mean, I have a big no, Mike. I have a huge tent, dude. Like it's humongous, man.
But it's a tent.
It's a tent, but it has like LED lighting inside. It has a wall switch, and it even has a
Okay.
spot where you can go and put an AC if you wanted to.
It's a bougie tent, but
It's a bougie tent. Of
uh, ba-
course.
on a scale of 1 through 10, how much of roughing it is it?
It's like it's roughing it because you're in a tent, but we have cots. We're not peasants and sleep on an air mattress on the ground. That's for the poors, bro. No, I ain't doing that.
Joe, I mean, golly, I'm so bougie these days, Joe, man. I if I'm not sleeping on a bed, I ain't sleeping, dude.
It's for a night, Mike. One night you can do that.
No,
My
man.
my nieces like going out
Like,
there.
I'll go to Gardner State Park, for example, on the Frio.
Yeah.
I'll enjoy the day. I'll barbecue. I'll use the pits out there. I'll barbecue, whatever. But I ain't gonna sleep on the ground, Joe.
Well, I don't sleep on the ground. We have cots for that, dude.
Even cots, Joe,
Yeah.
with the mosquitoes, man. Get me a
There's no
cabin.
mosquitoes in the tent.
Get me a
dude.
cabin. Get me a
No,
cabin.
man.
Mario Cavazos reaches out to us and says, "I pitch a very big, very nice tent." I was gonna use that joke too. I was gonna line myself up for that one.
No, we have fun out there, dude. I mean, there's no electricity. That's the thing. Like when I go camping, like I'll go to Palmetto and some of these other little campsites. At Palmetto, where you go and you set up a tent, there's no electricity. You only got water, and that's it. You have a campsite that has like a picnic table, and you have a barbecue pit. Pretty much it. Bathroom, you got to go walk to go use it, right? And they got a dumpster to throw your trash away. That's pretty much it. There's
So,
no electricity there, so you bring in your own power source. Like the girls, they like it because
at
Uncle
least you have the
spoils them.
power source. At least you have the power source.
Yes, the girls like it. My nieces because Uncle spoils them because I have like a big old Bluetooth speaker and I have like a portable TV, so they're not roughing it per se, And we have fans and all that kind of stuff, So they have chargers for their phones and whatnot, so they have a good time.
Now, let me ask you this, Joe. We have someone asked, Jason Garcia asking the question: is camping out at Brackenridge Park for the peasants?
By Mike's standards, it is. By my standards, I'm like, if it's something you do as a family and it brings you close, and you get to see everybody in one spot once a year, and this is the event, so be it, man. Because as you get older, Mike, you start realizing things, man. Like people that you see at these family events, you're not going to see them very often. And like when you're there with everybody all at the same time, it's like these moments aren't something that happens very often. So you're just there to have fun, hang out with family. It's a good time, man. I mean, I'm not against it.
Now, are you against what Jen Noriega asked the question about glamping? Do you like glamping?
I guess it's glamping.
No, well, that's not glamping. Glamping is you get a really sweet ass cabin that has air conditioning, and
That's not real camping, bro.
you go rough it outside. You go to the river and all that stuff during the day, but it has a nice kitchen in there. It has AC in it. It has a barbecue, has a fire pit. Because the idea of me going out and finding wood out in the middle of nowhere, and going like that with moscas and stuff like that, and building a fire, Joe, does nothing for me, Joe.
You know who likes to build fires? Chica.
Oh, Chica does like to build fires.
She likes
But
to build
she's-
fires. It's part of our Native American heritage because me and
Chica
Chica
is
are
Native
both Native American. We like a good fire, bro.
Tony says that the park was nice back in the day, but now parks are ghetto. Joy-Con says at some point it's not camping. Just go hang out in the backyard if you need all that.
Jeez. No, I have
I don't
fun.
know.
like going
I
outside.
can't. I can't do it, Joe. I can't do it. Hey, real fast before I let you go, and we wrap up the show. We were at the beach the other day, and do you like going to the beach where there's no music being played in the background, or do you like if music's being piped in?
No, I like music. Like I take my Bluetooth speaker, dude. I mean, that
Okay.
you have to be listening to music if you're at the beach. You have to have a canopy. You have to come prepared. So you have to have some things, Mike. You have to have a Bluetooth speaker. You got to have a canopy, and you have to have a wagon to put all that stuff in.
The wagon, yep.
I got all three. and I got a cooler. I'm good. I can just camp out there. I even have this screen material that I put that's for shade, right? So you're going to put it on the side of your canopy because the sun's always moving in different directions. So this stuff I just put up there. It blocks the sun from baking you. You have plenty of shade. You sit down in your little chair. You open your cooler. You listen to music. You have a drink. It's a good time.
Eddie the Great says your Native American name is Bluetooth.
That's a
Sam
good one,
Selena
dude.
says, which beach was that again, Mike? Where, huh? Name that beach, Mike. I was at Sunny Isles, Florida,
Sunny Isles. Oh, God.
in Miami Beach. Gonna go back there in about a month. Do I have a wedding to go to in California? It's gonna be it's gonna be at a vineyard in Southern California. That'll be at the end of the month of April. Then I'll be in Miami in May for a little while, hanging out with Chica's kiddo. And then we will be on our honeymoon in June. And then at that point, I think there's no more trips the rest of the year. So we got one April, May, and June.
You're going to be in your honeymoon, and then me and Alex, Jen, Michelle.
We'll be at the finals, game 3 of the finals. I'm going to be doing this show at 3 a.m. in France. Hey, whoever, that guy that watches our show that's from France, look me up, baby. I will be in France. We'll do the show together out there.
Yeah. We'll be at the No Jimenez Beach Bash.
Oh, Samson is asking the question. You were in Galveston. Oh, that's true. He does realize this. I told Sam Salinas this the other day.
Yeah.
I was at Sunny Isles 2 weeks ago at the beach. Last week, I was at somewhere in Galveston. It wasn't Galveston.
This last weekend, you were over there in Galveston, the
Yeah,
Caca Water.
what was the name of it? The place wasn't that bad. It wasn't Galveston because Galveston sucks. This was some peninsula out there. It was out
Galveston. This time of the year, or I think it's in May, maybe. That's where they have all that nasty seaweed that washes up all on the beaches, and they just let it rot out there, dude. And it stinks, bro. Like the whole place smells horrible. It smells like a tuna can that'd been left out in the sun for several days. And it's hard for them to throw away all that seaweed. They do eventually clean it up, but it's just like, you know how you have the snow plow and it just comes and plows all the snow and it just piles it on one side? That's the seaweed. You can't even enjoy the beach. It smells like crap. And then you can't even get in the caca water because of all the seaweed.
I didn't realize that my doggy loved the water. That's Allie. Had no idea that she could catch a Frisbee, but man, she's really good at that. Now, the caca water was fine over the weekend. It wasn't too bad, but I'm looking forward to the summer. And I know, did I offend more people with my Selena popularity take versus the camping at Brackenridge take? I don't know which one was more offensive to people, but I can agree to disagree when it comes to lots of things, man. But the camping out at Brackenridge Park, Joe, I'm still thinking of that photo that was sent in.
You know what? If you don't want to be out in Brack, or you can be outdoors somewhere in some little tiny park for Easter Sunday, just make more money. Go get someplace nicer. If you want to do that, you call Mike.
That's a hell of a transition. Give me a call, 210-508-0369, 210-508-0369. Back in the day, Joe, I used to be a financial advisor who would go off and wear a suit all day long, and I'd go to a corporate office at 8000 IH10 West, and I'd go to the 8th floor, and I'd go up there in a suit and be all proper. Now I do financial advising in T-shirts and polos and jeans, baby. That's how I do it now. I have a thriving practice, been in business since 2005. Give me a call if you have questions about investments. Investment accounts, retirement accounts, life insurance, long-term care, disability. Give me a call. I had somebody that got declined for life insurance that I got that flipped around and said, hey, you know what? Maybe the underwriter was wrong. Maybe they should qualify for life insurance. Maybe that declination was wrong. Why was it wrong? It was because people's prescriptions might be used for different things. It might go, oh, the underwriter might think prescriptions means this, but no, prescriptions actually mean that. That's where I come in as an advocate for my clients. Give me a call, 210-508-0369, 210-508-0369. Toro Loco SA says, nothing wrong with the tent, Mike, at Lake Conroe for Easter, Mike. I didn't realize that there's alligators at Lake Conroe. Now I'm afraid of the water over there. I hate alligators.
You're afraid of gator?
I hate it.
People eat gator, Mike.
I was looking at land out here yesterday. Man, I don't know, Joe. I was looking at land all over. I'm looking at land in Helotes. I'm looking at land in Willis, Texas, Conroe, Texas, Lavernia, Bulverde. I have no idea. It's starting to like the stress level of me not having a house of my own is pissing me off, Joe.
I think you need a little you need to give yourself a mental break for a little bit. You know, sometimes when you step away from things, the one thing you're gifted with is clarity. You know, and then you come back and you have a different perspective on it and you'll be like, "You know what? That's the direction I want to go in."
Yeah. Joe, Spurs back in action tomorrow night. Just 7 games to go before the season comes to a close, and then the playoffs begin. I saw this post yesterday that said that the Spurs will have 5 days off at a minimum
Yeah.
before the playoffs start. They're still fighting for that 1 seed. I respect it until the very end. Again, Oklahoma City won yesterday in overtime, despite the fact that Detroit was missing 4 starters, including Cade Cunningham. They still pulled it out. I think the Spurs are the best team in the Western Conference, best team in the NBA right now. But it's been fun to watch. The Spurs are making their moves, and Wemby is still 5 games away from qualifying for the postseason awards. So he's got to go out there and keep playing. But the Spurs have an early game tomorrow afternoon. Actually, not tomorrow, Saturday afternoon. They have an early game tomorrow night. Who the Spurs got tomorrow night, Joe?
Spurs on the docket. Let's see the schedule. So
I was looking at that Denver game.
Yeah, it's a Denver game that they have.
That's Saturday.
Tomorrow they have the Nuggets, right? And that's a late tip. That's going to be at 9:00. Then after that, they're going to have the Clippers, and that's another late tip at 9:30. That's on Thursday. So tomorrow 9:00 is tomorrow 9:00 is the Warriors. Sorry. Then on Thursday,
Warriors. That's what I'm thinking.
that's
of.
the Clippers at 9:30. Then at 2:00 again, another stupid game at 2:00
I hate
on
those
Saturday
games.
against the Nuggets. That's a big game. But why at 2, man? Like, I'm tired of those games that they have at 2:00.
There's no point to it. I guess the only thing
Dumb.
that I can think of is that it might fall in line with March Madness. They're trying to avoid going head to head with March Madness.
We just had a game last week, right? The Spurs played early, man. It was like 2:30. You know, it's like I couldn't even watch that game because it was my birthday and I was out and about and busy. I was kind of following it on my phone, but I'm like, dude, have the game in the evening. Like, why that early? It doesn't make any sense.
I think they have a wink and a nod against that because the March Madness is Saturday and Monday, right?
No.
And you're gonna notice every single game on Saturday is an early game. They don't want to go up against March Madness.
Yeah.
It makes sense. It's a wink and a nod to them, going, "Hey, we're not going to crap on your parade. You get to have your Final Four without us." There's one evening game, which is the Pistons and Sixers on Saturday night, but the rest of the games on Saturday are in the afternoon. Congratulations also to UT's women's basketball team for making it to the Final Four. All top 1 seeds made it to the Final Four, including South Carolina, who beat the living crap out of TCU in the fourth quarter yesterday. South Carolina advances, and so all 4 seeds are advancing. And you have a battle of 1 seed versus 1 seed in the Final Four for the men's side as well on Saturday.
Yeah. So
That's what I'm saying. Warriors come out to play.
The
Stupid
bottles
ass movie.
clink.
Stupid ass movie. That movie sucks. Bad.
Oh God, Mike. All right, man. We got to bring the show to a close because I get to work. I'm so tired today, man. I'm not even wanting to go to work, but I got to.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I got to get to work too, man. I'm not looking forward to it, but I am looking forward to Sloppy Joe night here at the Jimenez household.
There
We'll
you
be back
go.
tomorrow talking Spurs. We'll preview the game against the Warriors tomorrow, and we'll be back. Everyone have a fantastic day.
We're out of here. Peace.